Bust it.
Hello and thanks for joining us. Welcome to Political Platform. My name is Amechi Anakwe. A beautiful Monday morning at the nation's capital. A lot of things happened politically over last weekend, starting from Friday. The Supreme Court letting Senate President Bukola Saraki off the hook over charges of false assets declaration. And just after that, news came out from one of the online publications that Minister of Finance Kemi Adeosu did not participate in the NYSC and did not get exemption, but alleged that she presented a fake discharge certificate from the National Youth Service Corps. Since then, 2 days or more after, no word from the minister herself. It's very strange. Huge allegation against someone, and she's keeping quiet. No word also from the presidency that also did the appointment. They have kept quiet. From the NYSC, no word yet. Everybody seems to have lost his voice or her voice or their voice. But we are waiting patiently for them to speak up. The PDP asking that it was an intention to really put Kemi Adeosu into the cabinet to get campaign money for the APC ahead of that election. And the National Assembly also is keeping quiet. The newspaper reported that the National Assembly was well aware of Kemi Adeosu's fake certificate, but decided to keep quiet and use it as a tool to blackmail her. All of them, all the institutions and personalities involved are keeping quiet, creating room for Nigerians to believe that story. They say keeping quiet is acceptance of the status quo. That's what they are doing, creating the atmosphere for Nigerians to believe this story. But let's hope that before the end of today, they will find the courage to speak up. All of them, Kemi Adeosu, the presidency, National Assembly, and the National Youth Service Corps, we challenge them to speak up. It is not an issue you can sweep under the carpet. The reformed APC is meeting with the PDP alongside 33 other political parties. Some of them include the ADC and the SDP, and they say they hope to sign a memorandum of understanding towards the 2019 general election. They want to work together and achieve their objective come 2019. R-APC says they will not be once beaten twice shy. What happened to them in APC, where there was no agreement before the merger that brought the party into being, that immediately the election was won, all the gentleman agreement they had were thrown away. So this time around, they hope to really sign an agreement with the PDP, possibly a power sharing agreement on how they hope to work together, get the presidency, and the sharing formula will follow. From the southeast, the governors have said no to ranching, no land available in the southeast part of the country for ranching. But beyond that, they express a concern over a development they say is a boiling water, something that can indeed boomerang and pose a huge security challenge in the southeast. They say on daily basis, herdsmen with their cattle are grazing on people's farmlands, and this is this portends danger in case of any eventuality, any action by the farmers. The killings going on in the north central may spill over to the southeast. So they said they are tired of paying money to compensate farmers whose crops were destroyed by herdsmen, and they have proposed a meeting with security chiefs in the country to avert this situation. And later on, we shall be joining an election monitor who's already in Ekiti State ahead of Saturday's governorship election. We'll be hearing straight from the gentleman there. Uju Eje is with me in the program.
Amechi, I pray that the security authorities
would take proactive action with this complaint, with regard to the complaint from the southeast about herdsmen grazing openly on people's farms. You recall that has been the main problem in Benue State and is spilled over to Edo State at a time. And now the southeast is complaining. We shouldn't wait until trouble or crisis erupts before action is taken. I hope that they would move quickly, at least call the parties involved and work out a solution right now before it spills over. And as for the R-APC, of course, you know that a lot of horse trading is going on at this time. You have an R-APC where at least 4 of its key members are involved. Have their eyes on the #1 seat of the country. Talk about the former governor of Kano State, Kwankwaso. He has his eyes on the presidency. The current governor of Sokoto State, Aminu Tambuwal, has his eyes on the presidency. Of course, the Senate president, and then Tahiru Bafrawa, all of them, they have their eyes on the presidency, and they are all in this boat together. I see a situation where some of them may have to go in different directions as a means of achieving or fulfilling their aspiration. I see a situation where about 2 parties may gain from the R-APC, because if you put all of them together and then you talk about the former vice president, Atiku Abubakar, who is already in the PDP, you know that there are certain areas that they may not go. And I also see the PDP benefiting from the R-APC. But whatever they do, I would always say, let the interest of the people take preeminence.
Well, the PDP, they will be meeting today ahead of that possible signing of the MOU with between the party and these other parties, and I suspect the sudden meeting
37 parties.
Yes,
I think.
Is it 33 or 37?
37.
The meeting of the stakeholders of the PDP in Abuja may be just to really empower the party to go into that agreement. But for the members, especially the leadership of the R-APC, Reformed APC, the main party itself, APC, is threatening criminal court action against them for impersonation. They said as long as they are concerned, the only non-APC recognized and registered by INEC is the main APC, and the likes of Buba Galadima, they say, risk criminal action for impersonation. So let's hope and wait for this court action.
When it was NPDP, nobody raised this eyebrow. And don't forget that
because they chose not to.
In the Third Republic, there was NPP, there was GNPP.
A registered political party then.
All right, let's see how all of this plays out.
Let's welcome Mustafa Mohammed to the program.
Thank you very much, Amechi and Akwe. There's no need for any criminal action. The APC knows that these people are moving out of the party. So if you file a criminal action against them, what are you going to achieve possibly?
What they're saying is that you can form a political association, call it whatever name you like, but for you to claim to be a political party, Reform APC, you're impersonating the name and officers.
They're just doing what the Malam Bahaushe calls Tabol Marukunya. The house is broken, it's not holding anymore, and it's not a story, it's real life. But I'm more concerned about the grievous allegations of NYSC non-participation and certificate forgery against the finance minister of Nigeria's federal cabinet. This silence is not helping her or helping Nigerians. If indeed the allegations is true, she can actually help herself by really resigning her membership of the cabinet, because you cannot have such situation in the cabinet of Mr. Integrity in court. Everybody speaks about the integrity of the president's personality, and then you have such thing. The presidential spokesperson,
big test for that.
It's actually a big test. It's just like the Babashir's case now, Lawal, whom so many people thought there was a plan, cover up, but the president acted and it was beautiful. Nigerians now know the direction. So I think the issue of finance ministers,
though the prosecution didn't come,
the finance minister's own is another big test. If it's true, let her resign. The government may decide to prosecute her.
It's just resignation. If you fail to stand in for the NYSC and also get the exemption certificate is a criminal offense coupled with the alleged...
The newspaper says she graduated at 22 years old.
The alleged fake certificate.
Then the forgery is another, which attracts so many years.
Yeah, 2 years... 2 years imprisonment or 2,000 naira option or fine if you're convicted.
No, but the general forgery, you know, it
is another charge on itself.
Yes, it's another charge in itself. I think since we are planning to put Nigeria on the straight path, we should not have this kind of people, if true, in the federal cabinet.
Okay, let's hope that by the end of today, they will pick up the courage to speak to Nigerians. But first,
they really need to.
But the NYSC need to speak up, Amechi.
So is it? I said the NYSC, the National Assembly, which was alleged to be using it to blackmail her, the presidency that appointed her, and the lady at the center of it, or Kemi Adosh. We expect to hear from them. Thank you so much for staying with us. If you go to the social media, people are already making fun of the alleged certificate forger of Kemi Adeosu. Her picture, her head was superimposed on the head of a lady NYSC member to prove that she was really a part and parcel of the NYSC. But that's by the way, though. Let's take you to Ekiti State. This Saturday, we will be heading into a governorship election. 30,000 policemen, 11,000 electoral staff, hundreds or if not thousands of monitors, the whole nation, the whole world, according to the U.S. envoy here in Nigeria, they're also watching. They will be watching how the people, good people of Ekiti State, will be electing their next governor. And joining us via telephone from Ekiti State is Abiodun Ajijola. He is the head of the Election Monitor Group. Thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
What's the situation? Are we set from your own observations for that governorship election?
Well, at the moment, things look to be in good shape. We've seen that already INEC has, been putting a lot of things in place. As you know, this morning around 10 o'clock, there will be the stakeholders meeting where you have the Honorable National Chairman of INEC, and then also you have the Secretary General of Police and others, traditional rulers, political parties, and other CSOs and stakeholders. So that will be holding this morning in Ado Ekiti, and around 10 o'clock, and many briefings of the updates will be made available there. But from what we've had through the media reports, it seems INEC is putting things in place. The Commissioner of Police made known to us on Saturday at one of our programs where his representative that already about 10,000 police are already on ground as a pre-election deployment, and that the additional batch of 20,000 should be coming in.
We hope they will be coming in with the allowances.
We hope so. That's one of the things that we are really very concerned about. That, when you are deploying the men to the field, the officers to the field, there's a great need to provide them with their welfare package. At least, if not the whole payment, at least something that can allow them to be able to feed and take care of themselves and live decently while they are on duty. So we hope that the police authorities are going to take this into consideration and have even done that. But I'm sure at the stakeholders meeting, the IG will be asked about this. So we wait to hear what he has to say.
Now, 35 candidates up for this election. Between the last election and now, what has changed in Ekiti? Has anything changed?
Well, actually, there are 34 candidates for 35 political parties, because one of the candidates was on a particular party. Then, by court order, is going to be representing another party. So, at that time already, his party had already, scaled through. So we'll have 35 names and political parties on the ballot, but actually just 34 people that actually are involved in terms of people. But what has changed is, well, first of all, the voter registration has increased. In 2014, Ekiti State just had over 730,000 registered voters. But as I speak to you, as of 29th of June, Ekiti State has about 913,000 registered voters. So it's over about almost 200,000 have been added. Also, apart from that, we look at the security deployment that we're expecting.
Talking about the registered voters, nearly 1 million, over 900,000, but we hear 300,000 PVCs yet to be collected in Ekiti State.
Yes, so we need to understand that information clearly. So there are two types of PVCs that are yet to be collected, right? The first type of PVCs are those who did not collect from 2015. So, there are many people that maybe they registered in 2015, but for one reason or the other, they could not pick up their card, either by relocation or they have just been unable to pick up. So that is actually what forms the bulk of the uncollected PVCs. But then, as you are aware, there has been a CVR that commenced last year, that is 2017, which was nationwide, of which Ekiti State played a role in that. So that in that PVC registration, that PVC CVR registration, the PVCs that are yet to be collected from that are much fewer. So for example, as of the 14th of June 2018, the PVCs that were left from, Ekiti, that's from 2015 in Ekiti State, are 220,662. That is as of 14th of June. Whereas the PVCs that are left from the 2017 CVR registration, which commenced nationwide, and as you know, on the 21st of May 2018, that's about just a month plus ago, INEC started distributing those PVCs from the registration that is currently ongoing. As of 14th of June 2018, 48,807 of those had been collected out of 184,254, leaving a balance of 135,447 as of the 14th of June. I believe there are more recent figures as maybe as good as the first week of July or the last week of June. But as of 14th of June, so we still have a few, quite a lot uncollected. But you have to see that the 2015 uncollected is just a problem nationwide, where nationwide it's almost 8 million. But the current ones are being collected at a much faster rate.
Now, this Saturday, it will be federal power versus state power. APC controlling the federal forces, while the PDP on top of the state forces. How will it play out?
So the two major parties, APC and PDP, have significant, strength in the election, as you have rightly said. One controls federal government, one controls the state government. But also, you also look at the candidate of those two parties. One is a sitting deputy governor. The other one is an immediate past governor. So they're also actually very, very, at home and also very on the ground, and they are popular. So I think it's really going to be a very, very competitive election. I think this is the most competitive governorship election that we've seen since Bielsa 2015. And nobody can really predict how it's going to go. But when we talk about federal power and all of that, or state power, I think at the end of the day, if every stakeholder plays by the rules and we have a free and fair election and security are not partial, then I think what will ultimately be most important is the popularity and acceptability of candidates. So,
and not money that may change hands during the election day, vote buying.
Yeah, that's another very big challenge. We are not sure what the INEC and the security agencies have put in place to prevent that. But only, I'm sure these are issues that will be definitely raised in the stakeholders meeting today. So we'll have to see what comes out of that. But clearly, vote buying has become a very big problem in this country, and I think there's a very big need for that to be addressed urgently and quickly.
We'll have to thank you so much, Abiodun Ajijola, head of the Election and Monitor Group.
Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Okay, Saraki off the hook. He has been busy commissioning projects there in Rivers State. Rivers State is a PDP state. And like our listener who wrote in suggested, Speaker Dogara was there. Rabbi Musa Kwank was also visiting PDP states. These visits are now cross party lines.
Well, you can tell that they are not just going there to commission projects, because these are people who are known to have aspirations that are very, very open, openly known. You talk about the speaker, everybody knows he's eyeing the #1 seat of Bauchi State. And of course, one would also look at it as trying to shop for a platform that would favor their aspiration. If this party won't give me, then let me look towards the other side. And of course, you know that Nyesom Wike, the Rivers State governor, is the big man,
the powerhouse,
the powerhouse of the PDP. So everybody has to go there. If you know
Atiku
you really want
Abubakar,
something, and he eventually had to go. So it's not a matter of I'm a big man here. You just go to the person who has the joker, and then of course they are all big men. They will work it out as how it can favor them the most.
Saraki, the speaker is fighting the biggest battle of his political life. In Bauchi, he has fallen out with the governor. They have openly said they are supporting another person for that same seat. He is to
take over his House of Reps.
His House of, and they are seriously campaigning against him. If he wants anything, I think the wisest decision is to move away from the APC. But Rivers has become a mecca of some sort. It's not just for political reasons, but the governor has done something no other governor in this dispensation has done. The only governors we can compare to him are except Ambode of Lagos, who has become very exceptional, and Badaru of Jigawa State. You can see the other governors may really be sleeping compared to what Wike is doing. Doing projects, supervising, monitoring seriously, and commissioning projects every week. This is the kind of development.
Some people are uncomfortable with the way, the larger influence Governor Wike weighs over PDP.
Just like at Pabio when he was
governor. Almost
synonymous
with PDP. If you want anything about PDP, you have to go to
Rivers.
Look at this young man in his
leadership.
Controlling his party,
it's about leadership.
In his pocket.
You can have all the power, you can have all the money, but if you don't have leadership in your personality, people would come to you. There are people in the PDP that are older than Governor Wike. There are others also who have monies in both APC and PDP. But when it's come to leadership in the personality,
collects more from the revenue accounts.
Yes, but what if you have the kind of leadership Governor Wike has, everybody, including the elders, will be running to him. I don't blame anybody.
I think the thing is his personality. He's accommodating. He's always reaching out. Now Senator Pabio had also that kind of personality when he was the governor of Akwa Ibom.
Everybody goes there.
And everybody was going there. I think that Wike has been able to rally people, whether you like him or hate him, even though you may say he wields undue power, because power ultimately should belong to the people. But then let somebody else come up and...
Somebody has to provide the leadership, especially in the opposition parties that must always look for somebody to encourage them to dislodge the ruling party. Within the APC, can we say we have somebody of that influence? Maybe that may explain why the party ran into problems. The president who was positioned to play that role didn't actually do it, and it led to a splinter. If we had a dominant figure, someone pulling everybody around, the leader of the party, Tinubu, was immersed in some controversies. He couldn't just play that role after that victory. But we'll continue to bring all these developments to you as they happen. Our apologies to our listeners in Abuja for the brief interruption of the program in Abuja. But of course, it was on for the rest of the country. Thank you so much for being part of the program today. But do join us Tuesday for another edition. My name is Amechi, and enjoy your day.
Bust it.